Hello, my name is Tyler Benz. In this video, I am in a hypothetical situation in which I was just freshly hired as the new manager of a fictional organization. As the new manager, I will be going over my top 10 concepts from Joan Pierce's book, Organizational Behavior, Real Research for Real Managers. These 10 concepts on my list are things that I would want to instill within my new organization. The 10th item on my list of organizational behavior concepts is knowing how to be an effective and successful manager. This comes from an early chapter in Pierce's book, Chapter 2. Being an effective and successful manager is obviously very important to me, so that is why it is on my list. However, that is also the reason it is not higher on my list, as it does not really apply to anyone other than me. The pressure to be an effective and successful manager will be on my shoulders, not my staff's. At number 9 on my list is administrative rationality. Coming from Chapter 4, this concept essentially means managers have an over-focused view on the business side of an organization, rather than caring for their employees. While the success of the business is always important, administrative rationality makes this list to remind me not to get caught up in business alone, but to connect and engage with my staff as well. If I simply had a business view as a manager and was only chasing money and numbers, I could actually be causing harm to my employees by not checking in on their concerns or feelings. I want to be both a successful and caring manager. The 8th concept on my list is activities for managerial effectiveness. Just like number 10, this list of activities is found in Chapter 2 and would help me know what to do to be a great and successful manager. While the 10th concept was more so explaining and connecting, this concept provides me with a regular list so I can check myself to see that I am doing what I need to be an effective manager. This would also be very helpful when I was stuck or wondering what the best course of action would be next. Next up on my list of organizational concepts is effective hiring. Found in Chapter 3, this concept is a very important part of being a manager. I would want to find the right people to fit into the culture at my new organization. Culture aside, I would also have to be on the lookout for skill, experience, and the ability to communicate. Effective hiring teaches me how to not only bring in the right people, but also how to know which people do not fit my organization. Knowing how to hire correctly would allow me to give an extra boost to my organization. Coming in at number 6 on my list is organizational commitment. This concept comes from Chapter 4. Organizational commitment shows how committed an employee is to the company. Being the manager of the company, I would want my employees to be passionate and care about our organization. If an employee of my organization did not actually care for the company, they would likely feel tied down and have a negative mindset. When people have organizational commitment, not only does it improve morale and culture, but also productivity as well. Leading off my top 5 concepts now is types of conflict. A part of Chapter 9, conflict is an inevitable part of the workplace. In addition to this, not every conflict is the same. Knowing the different types of conflict, task, relationship, and process will help me as a manager to be better prepared to handle them. While assessing a situation, I would have to look at the conflict and its type to figure out the correct solution should be. The sooner I can determine the best course of action for conflict, there is less chance for damage. Coming in at the cleanup spot on my list of concepts is tactics for influencing. This concept comes from one of the later chapters in the book, Chapter 11. Tactics for influencing are basically how to motivate and entice employees to give their best effort. This can come in various forms, such as verbal praise, bonus for performance, or added benefits. As a manager, knowing how to motivate and get the most out of my staff will lead to more success for both the employees and the organization. This concept can also have a positive snowball effect. If I can get one employee motivated, they in turn can start influencing and motivating others as well. At number 3 on my list is the Big 5 personality dimensions. The 5 dimensions, conscientiousness, emotional stability, agreeableness, extroversion, and openness to experience, can be found in chapter 3 of the book. It is important for me to figure out what an employee's strengths or weaknesses are out of these 5 dimensions. Understanding each of these 5 dimensions will help me make key decisions in my organization. This can be regarding people or business decisions. On top of this will also allow me to better understand and connect with my staff. The runner-up concept on my list is types of feelings. This concept is discussed in chapter 4 of the book. Similar to conflict, feelings are also always present and inevitable in the workplace. Knowing the difference between emotions, mood, dispositions, and attitude will help me as a manager to handle various situations that may come up within the organization. The type of situation at the workplace can also determine what type of feeling I may be dealing with, so I must be prepared to deal with both the situation and the feelings. The top concept of organizational behavior on my list is difference in conflict. Talked about in chapter 9, this concept reminds me that conflict can actually be positive in an organization. There are 2 main types of conflict. The first type of conflict is functional conflict. This can actually be good for an organization because there is a potential for growth once the conflict is resolved. The other conflict is dysfunctional conflict. This form of conflict is harmful, even as once it is solved, no good will come out of it. It's important for me to know the difference between these 2. If I see functional conflict, it's okay to let it continue. But if I see dysfunctional conflict, I need to identify it right away and put an end to it. And there we have it. That concludes my top 10 concepts from organizational behavior. Thank you.